Hey guys, welcome to the first of the Redfill video series putting together. These are loosely based on a weekly stream I do on Mondays where we talk through some of the nuances of the game, helping everyone learn and hopefully get better. The very first one here is going to be focused on Evil Boo. Just kind of like a general overview on how to build him and why you should build him. Evil Boo is a tank, primarily geared around blocking, and he has a lot of extra bonuses when he performs a block. He also, with his revive, has the highest working health in the game, and with Makarita, should have the largest health in the game, hands down. Since she's going to boost his revive. Now, Evil Boo is a VIP character. I believe it is VIP 12. Once you get that, you get this character. When he first came out, he was largely thought to have been terrible. his compatriot, Fat Boo, was largely considered the better one because of the taunts and the bigger health pool. But if you get into the nitty gritty, you'll quickly find that Evil Boo is one of the best all-around tanks in the game. He'll be valuable in PvE as well as PvP, and he is good for a plethora of reasons. First off, you'll notice that he has 40% block built into his kit straight up. That's going to be with his affinity. He gets 10% block there, and then you'll also see it as one of his skills, where he gets 30% block built into there. Regular tanks like Champa and Fat Boo, as well as Golden Cooler, will actually get 18% block, but it's going to be on one of their passives instead. And that's going to be the highest they get. Other tanks like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, will not get any additional block in their kit. The other thing that kind of separates Evil Boo out is something called block effect. Your normal blocks on all other characters reduce the damage you take by 30%. Evil Boo actually gets a boosted 15% just for having the affinity, as well as he has a god skill that will push up another 8% right here, making for an overall 53% of damage block. A damage mitigated with a block. It's incredibly good. There's him and Kid Boo are the only two that have additional block effect. It's really strong. So obviously the goal is going to be maxing out block on this character. Other things you'll be getting with that block is you will be reducing their attack on a block. This is different than just a straight damage reduction. This is actually reducing the attack stat that they have, and actually increasing his own attack stat at the same time. He can stack it up to twice, which means he can steal 36% of attack from any heroes that hit him blocks, which is a monstrous amount of attack. And because it is attack, it'll affect things like healing, as well as damage. So he just, in general, hurts the enemy team by being your tank. They hit him and they end up hurting themselves as well. If not for damage, but their ability to output heals and damage. The other thing that gives him that highest working health in the game, Evil Boo actually has a relatively low health pool for a tank. We go and look at some of the base stats. So base stat of 6.2 million HP, whereas if you go look at Evil Boo, he will have a base stat of 4.9, which is significant. Almost 20% drop in health. Where that gets made up with is the fact that he can revive, so he gets 30% of that health back, which makes his working health higher than other tanks, and his passive, his first god skill passive, makes it 40% instead. It's a really good bump. In my case, it would take me from like 32 million in a revive or it gives me like 32 million health out of the 75 million I have. Really good stuff. Makes him very strong. Batboo's the only other one that really kind of comes close. He does have a revive. His base health is that 20% higher, so he gets the 30%, but that 10% on Evil Boo ends up making it higher, and that actually gets amplified significantly with someone like Makarita, who's going to push it up even higher, especially since all of her stuff is going to scale off healing boosts, and since it counts as a heal on revive, it's going to push it from that 40%, and then you're going to add 15% for her running Shin, and you're going to add an additional 25% based off the clan text for defensive heroes, and get another 23% on top of it. You can't run Kami, unfortunately, otherwise it would go up even. All very good stuff. Now let's talk a little bit about how to build your Evil Boo. Like I said, block is going to be your bread and butter. Based on that, you're going to want to use a vitality weapon on him. That's going to give you an additional 20% block, as well as crit resist, and it also boosts his HP, which is something he's lacking a little bit, and scales really well with his revive as well. So you just want to keep pushing that up. As far as spirits, I'm using a pure block spirit here. My preference would be to use a block with a secondary stat of crit resist. He doesn't have any passive crit resist in his kit, so getting it where you can is important, because as good as a block is, a crit resist is going to still be a bigger chunk of damage prevented, especially since he can block and do a crit resist at the same time and make it so they almost didn't do any damage at all, it feels like. As far as his other spirits, the purple and the red, I do attack just because he has a decent attack stat, and he steals attack, so he gets that 36% boost. So I just put it on the red can. I put hit on him, just because that's what I had with the secondary stat. I do prefer my Evil Boo to be slower. That gives him the opportunity to do a round 1 special, where he'll taunt someone before they can use their special in round 2. And absolutely prevent a lot of damage from coming his way early. Start spreading it out, which helps your healers mitigate some of that damage he would take better. As far as your marks, you're going to want to put Kai marks on him. For his shield marks, you're going to want to make sure there is block and crit resist at minimum on each one of them. Again, this might be a preference for me, but that is my preference. It needs to have block and crit resist. I think those are incredibly valuable on Evil Boo. Secondary stats, like I said, I'd almost prefer them to be slow, so this speed would be low priority. I would rather have something like HP percentage here or defense here. Actually, I would just say HP percentage there, and then either armor or defense here. Get those stacked up, prevent more damage from taking place, as well as boosting that HP for the really good revives. But these are your 3 shield slots here. Those primarily favor defensive stats. I hit 3 of 4 on 2 of mine, and then the final one, nope, 3 of 4 on all 3. Really solid mark setup here for myself. I didn't switch to EB until I had the marks that were going to be able to do this, and it has made a world of difference for him. As far as your sword marks, primarily want to focus on the 2 defensive stats that are available to you in armor and tenacity for your sword marks. Things like HP, flat HP is absolutely terrible. If it added it to your base HP, that would be one thing, but it just counts as more bonus HP, so it's almost negligible what it's doing. It's okay really early game, absolutely horrendous late game. Would prefer this to be attack percentage, I think. Like I said, just because he does have that higher attack stat naturally, he is stealing attack, and when he attacks, he is hitting the highest attack person on the enemy team, and he contributes a lot of damage to that person. So that would be my preference on the 3 of these. Obviously, it's really hard to get defensive stats on your attack marks, so do it where you can. But yeah, armor, tenacity, and then attack percentage, and then the other stat can essentially be whatever at this point. You'll also see you're getting block and crit resist with the Kai set, which again are core fundamental aspects of them. As far as like trying to determine, you know, what is the bare minimum you would want on your hero, as far as block, I think your goal before, if you're like in the early god levels, 1 or 2 god stars, getting this to like 110% I think is your bare minimum. But you're going to want to keep pushing that up, as well as, you know, having your crit resist stat going up. My preference would actually probably be 130% block, 125% block, somewhere in that range. Whereas my crit resist would be between that 80-85% mark. If I could hit 85% here and 130% here, I would say that's just about perfect for him. And then stacking HP percentage and attack percentage would only make him much stronger. He already is incredibly strong right now. I do not have another tank on my team. He is the tank, and he is doing a really good job of taking care of that on the team. So that is my quick overview of Evilbue. I will try to do this for some more common heroes that people will want to be putting into their lineups. I will be focusing primarily on SSS heroes. My experience with SSS heroes is minimal, but some of the lessons here could be applied to, like, you know, Kid Buu. He also has the block effect and the block stats. He actually will turn people into chocolate for hitting him, rather than reduce their attack stat. But overall, yeah, I'm going to be focusing on the SSS heroes. Hopefully this was illuminating for you and you learned a bunch from it and your EV starts really kicking ass. Like and subscribe. I definitely would appreciate that. And come check out the stream sometime. We give out weekly codes and in general just try and have a good time. Alright, thank you for everyone showing up. Take it easy.